In the previous video, we used a schoolyard ball and a basketball to drop and catch the ball and to dribble it. And today, in this video, we're going to use smaller balls. What are we going to do with all these? Well, a big problem many people have, those with more than just a mild impairment from their SCA or Friedreich's or MSA or whatever the disorder or the condition might be. Those that have more of a moderate problem, they have a problem releasing that hand, releasing and flexing that elbow, and just in general, relaxing their posture. So these things that we went through with just dropping the ball, dribbling the ball, for them, it's very problematic because they just can't relax their arms enough to be able to have that flowing action for the dribbling, especially. And then even for the drop and the catch, they just can't quite coordinate it. And there again, because they don't know how to relax the stiffness that they have to even throw the ball. Now I'm sitting here in the chair today because we're going to be working on just that. How do I relax enough just to throw the ball? And for that, for these people that have these more moderate, significant problems, you need to be in a chair. And you probably don't want one with wheels on it, actually, because that's going to cause you to be moving around on the floor. I have it just because it's easier for me to turn into the things that I'm doing here in this video. Or for you, you'll want, like a kitchen chair, a straight back chair, one that is secure in its location so you can get your foundation and your stability and then work on just this rather than the chair also moving around. Anything solid, you can be sitting on the couch, any other kind of a big chair, whatever, I don't care, it doesn't matter. You sit on whatever you want to sit on where you're comfortable and stable. That's the key. Being comfortable and being stable to work on just this arm and hand to, in this case, throwing the ball, to be able to bring that arm up and relax in that throw out. Because throwing it is the same thing that you were doing with dribbling it. And by that, I mean it's using the same joints and in the same manner. For dribbling it, you need that wrist and fingers nice and relaxed. You need this elbow nice and relaxed. And it's the same thing for throwing it. So practicing on being able to throw things and get this hand relaxed and not have this hand come out here all stiff and the arm stiff and these fingers like this. And you'll see a lot of different examples of this in the examples I show you throughout the video clip. But it's working on just that. And some of you even need to go back further. You need to work on smaller things. For example, having this ball, to see how relaxed you can be holding it and how you can move it just with the fingers and thumb. Nothing else. Just gentle. Turn it to steady. All of the surface of the ball is helpful. Some of you need a larger surface to be able to do that. Some of you have no problem with something smaller. Anything smaller, we tend to use a tighter grip. That stiffening process becomes a little bit more dramatic. So use these little things. How do I relax my fingers just to be able to turn this ball in my hand? I'll come up here and hopefully this will work and it'll show. I hope I don't go too far. But it's just moving your fingers here to rotate that ball, to move your fingers independently to get you started on throwing. So, tennis ball is good. Sometimes it's good doing this not to watch what you're doing. And instead of turning your head the other way, for those that have this more significant problem, just rest your hand, your arm rather, rest your arm on your thighs, both of them. So you can relax them more. So you don't even have to hold it up here by using your shoulder. Just relax them down here in your thigh. And then just close your eyes and just feel what you feel in that ball. You can use two hands, I don't care. You just relax as much as you can. Feel it in your posture. Shoulders, elbows, everything. I can't stress enough how important that is. And these little exercises will help you so much to be able to finally feel the letdown, the relaxation of what you need to do, of what you need to feel for when you're doing other things, and especially when you're standing up. If you don't know what you're searching for in these feelings, you'll have no clue how to go about it. And that's been the problem for a long time with too many people. I was that way. I couldn't remember how to do the simple things. I couldn't remember how to relax. I couldn't remember what it felt like. So you have to reproduce all of that. You have to go through the motions by yourself, quiet time of just feeling it, feeling what you have to do to feel that release, to feel that relaxation. And all of a sudden, oh my God, there it is. And again, if you played piano or a musical instrument, or you like typing on the keyboard, whatever, crocheting, knitting, puzzles, I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter. You have to find your way to do this. Many of you are doing those already. And when you're involved only in that, sitting there at the table, putting a puzzle together, for example, without realizing it, you're very relaxed and everything is moving and working so much better because you're not thinking about it. You're just in the moment. You're in the game of putting that puzzle together or whatever you're doing. That's when you need to take note of, oh my God, look at this. That's how it feels. And use that, adapt to that, and so many other things that you're doing. You'll surprise yourself. So, taking one of these balls, nice and textured, easy to hang on to, and if you notice, is again underinflated. One, it's easier to grasp and keep in my hand without squeezing the death out of it, which is exactly what many of you. And the other thing is, when I throw this, and if it doesn't go in that container, or whatever I'm going to try to toss it into, when it misses, hits the wall or something, it won't bounce, run off somewhere quite so far. I won't have to chase it as much. This is when it's great to have those kids around. Chase it before you pick it up, put it back in your basket, and all you have to do is work on that relaxing throw of getting this arm to do what you want it to do, and having some competition with the kids. So as I said, many people with these more advanced problems will stiffen up, they'll hold on to this too tight, and then they try to throw it, and they just simply cannot open their hand to release the ball. Or they'll release it way late, or they'll release it way early. And any combination in between you can think of, that's what they do. That's what I used to do as well. Trying to coordinate that throw, trying to coordinate that release. Well, if you can just get this arm to relax, You don't have to worry about coordinating. It'll just happen. Now, with that stiffness, you'll see many people, they'll think about it, think about it, think about it, even to the point where their arms start to shake because too tight, too stiff. You have to relax that. The more thought you put into it, most of the time, the worse you're going to do. This is speaking of those with this stiffening problem. What you'll see them do is they'll tighten up here, and then many times they'll come back here and they'll stop and they'll wait and see how stiff I am. And then they have a problem bringing it forward. Those that don't have quite as much of a problem, they'll relax their hand up here and their elbow. But then as they start to bring it back, this is when the stiffness starts to come in. And you'll notice that with a lot of things you do. You can relax, and then when you start the movement, you start to stiffen as you go through the motion. You need to work on that. And the one thing that I suggest to people that have these problems when I'm working with them is instead of starting up here, relax your hand down here on your thigh, hand, arm, whatever you want. Relax it, get that ball gently held in your hand, in your fingers, this way, not full hand like this, just your fingers. That's all you need, your fingertips. Relax that arm and hand down here on your thigh. And then come up and go all in one movement. Part of the reason they stiffen when they're starting to do the movement is their foundation is poor. What foundation should you be in sitting in this chair to throw this ball? You should be in the same setup as you are when you're dropping and catching the ball, when you're dribbling the ball, when you're throwing the ball, when you're in the chair. Same thing. My body movement is this way. So where does the pressure need to be on your feet? When I'm coming way out here, if my feet are way back, just as it was before, I can throw myself forward out of the chair. I want my feet just a little bit forward, so when I lightly throw this, I'm not ejecting myself out of the chair, because many of you with this posture will do that. You'll be so abrupt, you throw yourself forward. And you can see my chair moving around. Now, if you're in that stabilized chair, only your body will be moving. So when you get better with this, you want that pressure towards the ball area of your feet so you can get a more natural throw. As you come forward, the pressure in the ball area is supporting you. So you have to find what's comfortable for you, what's stable for you, where you need to have your feet to be comfortable while you're doing it, and vary that and find out, and then use it. But you must pressurize your feet and adjust your posture forward, even to toss the ball. Without a good foundation, this is not going to work. You're not going to be able to relax up here. And if you're confused at what posture you need to be in, what you should be doing, ask somebody else to show you how they throw it. And just have them go through the motions. And if you need them to explain anything about what they're doing, fine. But mostly, just ask them to just do it their way and just show you without talking. And what you want to watch is, one, watch what they're doing down here. Watch how they're setting themselves up. And then 2, watch up here. Watch what their posture is doing. Watch what their upper body is doing. And many of them will be coming forward as they're throwing that ball. If you're just tossing in a short distance, you might not be moving it at all, or coming a little bit forward. That's fine either way. But be careful about throwing backward. Don't want to be doing that. And that is going to be something that you tend to do when you're standing up with these different postures. Throwing this little ball or throwing that bigger ball, it's all the same dynamics. It's just the size of it. So it's relaxing this hand to get this wrist flexing. When you're tossing this ball, you want to have the fingertips tossing it, not the whole hand. It's harder to release. Work on that relaxation. Take your practice throws, feel that relaxation. And then many of you are going to have to find your distance. How hard do I need to throw it? How soft? There, my fingers opened up a bit. I made it in there okay, but many of you will do that. You'll throw it and this hand will come stiff. And many of you will exaggerate it even more and the arm will come stiff. So when you're dealing with these shorter distances, try not throwing it, you're just tossing it, but also try to do it with just your wrist. Yes, your arm's going to extend anyway, or your elbow's going to extend anyway, but this is where many of you are needing to focus. Because if you can get this to relax, this will be relaxed. I guarantee it. Because remember, all these muscles here are controlling this wrist and much of what the fingers do. So if you can relax these muscles, this is relaxed, and yeah, that's going to be relaxed. So try to just toss it with your, this way. And it'll go plenty far for you for these short distances. And you have to work on your aim. Now, I missed twice, and the second one I missed by, I was off to the side quite a bit. It's going to happen. Don't worry about that. If you can't make it in that, and you're hitting all around it, that's fine. You're working on this form. You're working on the relaxation, not necessarily making it in that target. That will come later. Just work on this. Work on nice and easy. And vary the distance of that receptacle. Play the games of, you can have the bigger balls, the smaller balls that are more inflated. You bounce it and try to get it into your target. Use bean bags to throw them around, whatever socks, pillows, have pillow fights. I don't care. The important thing here is to just be able to relax, have a little bit of fun, and get this arm working better. Because this is going to be so beneficial when you get standing up on your feet. If you can master this in the chair, you're going to be more stable when you stand up, provided you can keep this. But a lot of people have issues with that because once they stand up, they don't have the support of the chair anymore. And now they have to do all of that just here on their feet. And then that becomes another problem. So, standing up. What is the difference between what we did earlier? Nothing, except you're standing up here. What posture do you need to be in? Ready stance, of course. Now, bouncing the ball here, tossing the ball there. Same thing. Same thing. How low do you have to be? I don't care. It's up to you. If you're better down here to get that increased pressure to throw it, that's fine. If you can manage it up here and throw it, that's fine. But here again, be careful when you come up higher. It's easy to go backwards when you try to throw the ball forward. And that's exactly what many of you will do. This arm, the weight of the arm out here, without much pressure going down to your feet, when you bring the arm back, the shoulders go back with it because this weight is now moving up and back. And if you're not pushing down into your feet to hold yourself stable, your shoulders are going to go right back there with it. So there again, if you can just use this elbow, you don't have as much transfer of body weight here. It shows that you're more relaxed. And when you're down here in this squat or a high ready stance, you have that pressure going down that you need. And for right now, you don't have to worry about getting one foot in front of the other one. You don't have to worry about this is the wrong way, this is the right way, the way girls throw, boys throw, whatever. You don't need to worry about that right now. You don't even need to think about it. All you need to think about is this. Getting that pressure down there, relaxing, and then this. Being able to keep this relaxed when you're on your feet. Being able to keep your body stabilized so you're not throwing it and going all over the place. We're getting more and more complex with the movements. It takes a little bit better ability each advance we go. But as you can see, the ability is making this foundation better and more stable, relaxing your posture and getting it to flex and just control this coordinated movement a little bit better. It's going to come easy for some of you with just a mild condition. Some of you that have a mild moderate, it's not going to be that bad. You'll start to come back to this. Those with a moderate to and higher level of impairment, it's going to take you longer. Now, there's another thing that everybody needs to realize. There are going to be good days and bad days, and many of you already know about those. Same thing's going to happen here. You'll be doing this stuff one day and you'll feel great. The next day you come and you're just god awful. It happens. And the other part is you need to keep doing this over and over and over again. And initially, it's almost every day that you have to do it. Not all day, but just a little bit every day. Because it'll seem like if you don't, you'll come back and do it again and you can't quite remember how it goes. And that's because of all the stiffness and guarding in your posture that you're dealing with. But as you progress through this, things will come easier and they will stay with you longer. Don't let that get you down. And this is across the board for a long time. In the beginning, you have to work almost every day. And then gradually, not so much. And then as you keep doing this years later, don't need to do it every day, maybe not even every week. But you still need to be doing something that challenges you, that you can use as your therapy to work on this stuff constantly. Everything is therapy. All these little things you do, it's all therapy. How do I do this better? And if you continue that mindset, this won't be work. It'll be just something you have to do for your condition. I've had responses from some people that say, I'm not doing all that stuff because it's too much work. I have to do it every day, and if I don't, I lose it, blah, 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 blah. blah, blah, wah, wah. You have to ask yourself how much it's worth to you. How much are you willing to do for you? How much are you willing to sacrifice to work on the things that you need to work on to make your life better? It's not going to be easy for many of you, and it's not going to come quick for many of you, and it didn't for me either. What you're seeing here is things that I've been working on for, let's see, going on 13, 14 years now. Every day, something every day. And then as you advance, more complex stuff, you use that to keep working on it. I went through ballroom dancing for many years, and that helped me so much with a lot of these advanced techniques, movements, and skills. And then when I stopped doing that, when I was on the road working with people, I took up golf again, and that helps me work on exactly all this stuff just in another activity, a complex activity, to be able to stand there, to be able to stay in that form, to be able to do decent on the course, to want to go back and do it again, it takes a lot of time. So if you're the type that gets discouraged because it's too much work, well, that's your choice. But regardless of what your problem is or is not, you want to stay on top of your game and enjoy different activities that you like to do, you have to work on it. I don't care how much natural ability you have or don't have. For example, those athletes you see out there doing all these wonderful things, do you think they have to work on their stuff, on their activities, on their movements to perfect their game? Damn right they do, and they have to work hard at it. It's the same thing. How many of them would be that star athlete if they said, that's too much work, that's too hard, I'm not going to do that? It doesn't matter what you have or don't have. We have work to do just because we're human and fallible, and if we want to do certain things, we have to perfect our skills. Nothing more than that. So for those of you that don't want to work, well, get off your bad self. Or sit in your wheelchair, do nothing, whatever. It's up to you. It's your quality of life that you're dealing with. Now, on that, and I don't want to seem that I'm being demeaning to them, because there are some of you with a significant impairment. Getting up and doing some of this stuff puts you in peril. I understand that. And it does take a lot of work, a great deal of work to get from there to be able to just get back in the walker, out of the wheelchair, for example. So I've had people that say, look, my impairment is bad enough that I just want to stay safe in the wheelchair because I've accepted that and I've adapted my life to it. And hey, that's okay. That's a personal choice. But if you're one of those that says, I don't want to be in the wheelchair, I don't want to be using this walker, then these are ways you can go about getting out of that chair or off that walker. To what degree? Don't know. You're going to find that out for yourself. Everybody I've worked with has improved to some degree and in some way. How much have they kept? It's all relative. It's all across the board, and I'll be the first to admit that. It takes a commitment. It takes a lot of follow-up. It takes friends to help you work on yourself when you need the help. But all of it is your choice. And with somebody to help you or not, you're the one that has to make the tough call.